Hey, it's the follow through. I'm Pastor Fred. We're listening to God. We're living for Him, right? Looking at the Word and just getting into it today. Today we're going to be in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 16. And we all know the old phrase, and sometimes we learn it the hard way, that you get what you pay for. If you buy something cheap, you might have gotten it for next to nothing, and it might be worth next to nothing. Quite often, sometimes it happens. We buy something and it's inexpensive, but it's really good quality and it's great. But most of the time, if it's priced like it's junk, it probably is junk, that happens. And so today in our passage, we really have kind of a principle at work that's real similar, and I think it's really, really true. So look at 2 Corinthians 9:6, which says this. And it starts like this. It says, the point is this. Now, Paul's talking about a collection for Christians who were suffering and calling on people to be generous and with their time and with their money. He says, okay, so whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. Whoever sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. So let me give you this. He's using a farming analogy, right? He said, like if you only put a couple of seeds in the ground, you can't expect this massive harvest, right? So if you're sowing, right? If you're planting wheat, if you're a farmer, or corn, if you're a farmer, and you just use just a little bit, I mean, you can't expect like this gigantic thing to happen. Now, if you sow a lot of seed, right? If you plant a lot of seed, you can expect a lot of growth. You can expect a lot of corn, right? You can expect a lot of wheat. If you were to invest in a company, let's say you invested $1, are you going to get the same if you had invested $100,000? Absolutely not, right? Because you gave very little, and so you're going to, even your potential to receive back is going to be very little. And the point that God wants us to see is that He is never sparing when He gives to us. He gives us all the love we need, all the forgiveness that we could possibly need, the faith that we could possibly need, the hope that we could possibly need. He's given us even resources and time. Think about that. Think about the ability you have in your life, the things you can do. It's all from Him. It's all these blessings. So He's saying, okay, so how are you going to use these? Like, look at your life as a field. I mean, are you going to use all that seed that He's given you and you're going to plant and plant and plant and give and give and give and take the time with those people in your life and take the time talking with them and listening to them and praying for them, right? Because if I don't do any of those things, I shouldn't expect much to happen. But if I'm giving all of that time and all of those resources to help the poor and all those other things, I can expect some cool things to happen. Why? Because I've invested in that. Now, let me say this at the beginning, just to make sure there's no confusion. God can do with very little. He doesn't need very much. So we're not talking about quantity here at all. There's a story in the Bible of a widow who gave 2 little copper coins that weren't worth very much at all. And Jesus said, like, wow, she gave a tremendous amount. But Jesus there was talking about her sacrifice and really what giving is about. It's about saying, God's got me. I'm covered. So I can give. Even if it's my last little bit, I can give. But in this passage, Jesus is saying, like, look, like when we're looking at helping people and doing things, like if God's blessed me, like let me be generous and let me help. And let me not get frustrated if I'm really not giving much at all, but I'm expecting all of this to happen. Right? And that's the problem. Like if God, like imagine that, like you're actually withholding maybe, and I do it, we all do it sometimes. We can think, oh, this is my stuff, my time, my everything. And then we get frustrated that things aren't happening, and God's going like, whoa, but I kind of set you up to be able to help. But you've taken and you've held it all in. So let's give as God is calling us to, right? And it's going to be different for everybody. Trust me. Right? This isn't a guilt trip. This isn't any of that. I'm just saying, like, remember where everything comes from. it's going to take a lot of the guilt away. It's going to take a lot of the shame away. It's going to take a lot of those other things away, and maybe give us a clearer picture of what God is calling us to do. He wants us to kind of swing for the fence, to say, okay, I want to help as many people as possible. I want to see as many lives change as possible. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I do these videos all the time, because I want like these are like kind of like the seeds that I'm planting, and the time that I want to give, and I want you to hear it and be like, man, that really helped me. So I pray, and like, let's invest, let's give, let's plant today, and just knowing the amazing things God's going to do with whatever we are able to give. All right, have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time.